Now that we've confirmed the project runs with a Hello World program, let's take a look at a few design documents to see what we'll be building. We'll open up the Explorer, click on Design, and then mockup.png. This is a mockup of what we'll be creating. It's just an image, and we'll be writing some code to try to replicate this as close as possible. I want to highlight a few elements while we're here. At the top, we have the application bar. And this is going to be visible most of the time in almost all of the pages in the application. And it's going to change based on the content. It's always going to have the user's profile picture here, and clicking on this will have a slide out menu come in from the left. We're also going to have the name of the page that we're on and context-specific buttons. In the case of the home page, we'll be able to visit the main home page, look at our bookmarks, and look at our liked posts straight from this panel. Down here at the bottom, we have our main navigation bar. This main navigation bar will stay the same the entire time, and it's going to always be visible as long as the user is logged in. Clicking on one of these buttons will go to the respective page. So if we click on Post, we'll be able to post new messages. If we click on Home, we'll go back to the home page. In the bulk of the window, we have the main content, and this will change based on whatever the user has clicked. Here we have a post. And this is just a regular text post. It has a heading element and it has some text. We also have some actions we can take, and this is called the post action bar. And so we can boost the post. This is like a retweet. We can like, we can dislike, we can bookmark it, and then we can respond with this little chat icon. Here we have an image post, and we have an image posted here. It's also possible to add a caption to go with the image, but it is optional. Clicking on any of these profile pictures will go to that user's respective profile. And again, clicking on this one at the top, which will always be visible, will go to the currently logged in user. I only created one mockup just for the main page, and so we'll have to create all the pages based on this overall design. Next, we'll take a look at the wireframes-ui.svg. We'll right-click it and click on Open Preview. This wireframes UI document shows all the pages and elements that we'll be creating. If we zoom in a little bit here, we'll see that we have Create Account. So this will be the Create Account page. So this whole entire block here is what the users should see when they load the application. The same goes for Login. And if they're going to view a profile, this whole entire thing will encompass the whole screen. Anything that's light blue is clickable. So if we click on Submit, it'll go to a new page or perform some action. If we click up here, it'll do the same thing. We go on over here to the View Profile. We can see that we have the app bar at the top. So each page has an associated app bar, and this is where we can have context-specific information. Anything that's in purple indicates that it's some other element referenced somewhere else. So for example, we have the Profile app bar. That's going to reference this right here. And we have the nav bar right here, and that's going to reference a navigation bar elsewhere on this page. I'm not going to go over the entire document right now because we'll be referencing it throughout the course. We'll close this one and we'll check out another important one is the wireframes-navigation. So we'll right-click that, click on Open Preview. The navigation document shows how the user will be navigating throughout the application. So if we go over here, we can see on the Create Account section right here. On Create Account, if the user clicks on the link Existing User Login, they're going to navigate over here to the login page. So basically, it'll switch the page. And the same thing goes if they click on Create Account. It's going to navigate to the Create Account page. And just like with the other document, we'll be referencing it as we build the project, so there's no need to go over the entire document right now. Next up, we'll take a look at the wireframes-modules. The wireframes modules document shows where the source code is going to exist per page. So for example, if we take a look at new post, we'll see that we have the new chat, new image, and new poll. So all of our code for new chat, new image, and new poll is going to exist in the new post module in Rust. So we can use this to kind of reference where our code is going to be in the source code tree. That way things stay a little organized. Because with a project with lots of different components like this, organization is a big part of maintaining the project. The last document we'll be looking at is the database design document. So open up the design folder, right click on database.svg, click on preview. The database.svg file shows how all the tables relate to each other. We'll be using a query builder in this project, so there's no need to write raw SQL queries. If you're unfamiliar with relational databases, don't worry, because I'll cover how each table relates to another as we build out the project. For the most part, this whole section right here deals with the post information, and this section right here deals with user information. This down here, that's part of the post as well. And just like the other documents, we'll be referencing this one as we build it, so there's no need to do a deep dive right now. The last bit of documentation that we need to cover is the generated documentation for the code. So if we hop into a terminal, we can do just doc, and it's going to build out the documentation for the project. And what's going to happen is it'll generate documentation for every crate and every dependency of every crate that we are using in the project. We can see that we have 763 crates, so it may take a few minutes to build a documentation. All right, my documentation finished generating, so we can run just doc -- open, and we'll get a web browser, and that's going to load the official documentation that's been generated from the crates. We can see that we have the front end crate is the first one, but we can just search for anything. So the backend that we'll be using, the backend crate, is called Axum. So we can go straight to that crate and get all the documentation for that specific crate and search for anything that we need. And that should do it for the documentation. Now we're ready to start coding in the next video.